welcome back. Come in, quickly, out of the wind and the wide, wild sky and everything that asked something of you today. Tonight, the mountains have a great deal to say. This is the biggest storm of the whole season. Heavy rain falling in full, driving sheets, thunder rolling and echoing between the peaks, the whole valley wrapped in one deep, tremendous sound. But you are going somewhere entirely safe from it, high on the mountainside, where a small wooden lodge has weathered 100 storms exactly like this one, and will easily weather this one too. You do not need to remember anything. You do not need to follow anything closely. You only need to breathe in and out, in and out. Rest is not something you earn, it's already yours. Let's begin. The road up to the lodge climbs steadily through the pines, switchbacking higher and higher above the valley floor, the trees growing shorter and more windswept the further up you go. Softly, imagine you are walking it now, unhurried despite the size of the sky above you, your boots finding sure footing on stone worn smooth by decades of travelers who walked this same path before you, toward this same warm shelter. Far below, the valley has already begun to fill with a low, silvery mist rising up from the swollen river at its center, softening every rooftop and tree line into something gentle and indistinct. Above you, the sky is a vast, churning gray, streaked here and there with darker bands of cloud, moving fast on a wind that smells of rain and pine sap and cold, clean mountain air. Thunder rolls somewhere beyond the highest ridge, and this far up, you feel it as much as hear it. A low, deep vibration moving through the mountain itself, rolling on and on, echoing from peak to peak, growing softer and softer as it travels further into the distance. Gently, it is enormous, it is undeniable, and yet somehow it is not frightening at all. Simply the sound of something vast and old, doing exactly what it has always done, entirely unconcerned with anything except its own ancient rhythm. A hawk rides the wind high above the tree line, wings barely moving, tilting easily against gusts that would trouble anything smaller. Somewhere in the pines, a squirrel makes its final dash for shelter, disappearing into a hollow trunk with the practiced calm of a creature that has weathered 100 storms exactly like this one. The mountain itself seems to lean into the coming rain, the way it always does, welcoming rather than resisting the storm's arrival. Along the path, old wooden trail markers, weathered grey and half swallowed by moss, mark the distance to the lodge in numbers worn nearly illegible by decades of mountain winters. You don't need to read them closely. Your feet already know this path, the way feet always come to know a path walked with purpose rather than hurry. Each switchback familiar, each turn expected, each step carrying you a little higher, a little closer to warmth and shelter. Below, in the thickening mist, you can just make out the shapes of the valley's small settlements, chimney smoke rising from a dozen scattered rooftops, each one its own small pocket of light and warmth, preparing, the way you are, for the storm now fully arriving. You quicken your pace slightly, not from worry, but simply because the lodge ahead looks so warm against the darkening sky, its windows glowing gold, smoke rising steadily from its stone chimney despite the wind trying to bend it sideways. And then, just as you reach the final switchback, the rain begins in full. Not gently, but all at once, an extreme, driving downpour, falling in heavy, generous sheets, drumming hard against the pines, the stone path, the lodge's steep wooden roof ahead of you, filling the whole mountainside with one deep, continuous roar. You are almost there. The lodge door is thick, ancient pine, reinforced with black iron bands, and it swings open before you even reach it. Someone inside, perhaps, who heard your footsteps on the stone path and knew exactly when to expect you. Warmth rushes out to meet you immediately, wood smoke and something rich simmering slowly on a stove, and the particular smell of a building that has spent generations perfecting the art of keeping people warm and dry, no matter what the mountain sends its way. You step inside, and the heavy door closes firmly behind you. And just like that, the storm becomes something else entirely. No longer something to hurry away from, simply something enormous to listen to, safely, from the warm, dry other side of walls 3 logs thick. You are inside now. You are safe. You are warm. Above you, the rain drums hard against the steep wooden roof, a full, generous, almost overwhelming sound at first, until you notice how the lodge itself seems built entirely around receiving it, every steep angle and thick beam designed over centuries of mountain winters to simply shed whatever the sky decides to send and let the rest become music.
You've been carrying a lot lately, haven't you? Tonight, you don't have to carry any of it. You can let go now. There's nothing left to hold. The great room of the lodge is vast and high-ceilinged, its beams cut from whole pine trunks, its walls hung with old snowshoes and coils of climbing rope, relics of 100 winters and storms weathered here before tonight. A great stone hearth dominates one wall, a fire roaring generously within it, throwing warm orange light across the whole room. You settle into a deep leather chair near the fire, and someone, perhaps the lodge's keeper, perhaps simply the building itself, has left a thick sheepskin draped over its arm. You pull it around your shoulders. On the low table beside you, a mug waits, filled with something warm and rich, hot chocolate perhaps, or spiced cider, still gently steaming. Beside the mug, a great leather guest book lies open, its pages filled with the handwriting of 2 centuries of travellers who sheltered here before you, each one leaving some small note about their stay. Many mention the weather, the way travellers always do, a few words about a gentle evening or a clear morning view, or here and there, an entry very much like tonight's: extreme storm, thunder I've never heard, slept better than I have in months. One entry, faded nearly to illegibility by age, simply reads, "The mountain roared all night. I have never felt so completely looked after." You find yourself agreeing with it somehow, without quite knowing why. You wrap both hands around it, feeling the warmth settle into your fingers, and take a slow sip. It tastes like mountain evenings, like the particular safety of thick log walls between you and a truly enormous sky. like being exactly where you're meant to be while something vast and powerful happens just beyond the glass, utterly unable to reach you. Above the steady roar of rain on the roof, thunder rolls again, closer now, echoing hard off the canyon walls beyond the valley. One long, rolling boom, then a second, fainter echo chasing right behind it, then a third, fainter still, like the mountain itself repeating the sound back to the sky, slower and slower, until it fades entirely into the rain. That echo, if you listen for it, tells you something useful. The storm is still some distance off, its sound simply amplified and multiplied by the shape of the valley around you, rather than growing any closer at all. You've done enough today, more than enough. Rest is not something you earn, it's already yours. Through a low doorway off the great room, the lodge's kitchen glows warm with its own separate fire, a great iron pot simmering slowly on the stove, filling the whole lodge with the rich smell of mountain stew, root vegetables and herbs gathered from the slopes in summer, and meat that's been simmering unhurried for most of the afternoon. Old Tom ladles out a bowl for you without needing to ask, setting it down at the great wooden table alongside a thick slice of bread, still warm from the kitchen's own small oven. There is something deeply satisfying about a meal made specifically for weathering seems to be. You eat slowly, in no rush at all, the fire crackling nearby, the rain roaring steadily overhead, every mouthful settling a little more warmth into your tired body. When you're finished, Old Tom simply takes your bowl without comment, the quiet, practiced courtesy of someone who has fed 1,000 storm-weary travelers before you, and never once made any of them feel like a burden for needing exactly this kind of care. Let me tell you a little about this lodge as the rain roars steadily above us and the fire keeps us warm. This building has stood on this exact ridge for nearly 200 years, rebuilt twice after fires, but never once after a storm. Its log walls, its steep roof, its deep stone foundation, all engineered, generation after generation, specifically to withstand exactly this kind of extreme mountain weather. The very first builder, a stonemason named Elias, chose this particular ridge for a reason most people miss entirely. Not because it offered the best view, though it certainly does, but because the shape of the rock beneath it channels even the heaviest rain away from the foundation in 3 separate directions, ensuring the ground beneath the lodge never once floods, no matter how extreme the storm above it becomes. He spent an entire summer, they say, simply studying how water moved across this ridge before laying a single stone. His son and his son's daughter after him each added their own improvements across the decades: steeper roof lines to shed heavier snow, thicker walls to hold more warmth, deeper foundations to anchor against the fiercest mountain winds. Each generation, in its own quiet way, made the lodge a little more capable of doing exactly what it's doing for you right now, standing perfectly steady while an enormous storm does its enormous, generous work all around it.
Old Tom says he sometimes thinks of the lodge less as a single building and more as 2 centuries of careful, patient love layered one improvement at a time, each builder trusting that someone, someday, would need exactly this kind of shelter on exactly this kind of night. The current keeper, old Tom himself, has tended this lodge for nearly 30 years, guiding travelers up the mountain in every season, and has weathered more storms here than he could ever count. He says the very worst storms, the truly extreme ones like tonight's, are actually his favorite, not because he enjoys any danger in them, since there rarely is any, tucked safely as the lodge is behind its ancient, over-engineered walls, but because they remind him just how completely this old building was built to protect the people inside it. He learned a particular trick, he says, from an old mountain guide decades ago for making peace with truly loud thunder, the kind that shakes the windows and rolls on and on through the canyons. Would you like to hear it? He said, whenever the thunder rolls and echoes like this, you count not just the seconds until you first hear it, but the number of echoes that follow, growing softer each time. Each echo, he said, is the mountain itself absorbing a little more of the storm's enormous energy, spreading it out, softening it, sharing the sound across 100 miles of rock and pine, rather than letting it land anywhere all at once. By the third or fourth echo, he says, the sound has already become almost gentle, proof, if you needed it, that even the largest, loudest things eventually soften, spread thin, and settle into something you can rest inside of. There. Did you see it? A soft flash of light beyond the great window, brightening the whole valley for just a moment. Now count slowly with me if you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there the thunder arrives, enormous and rolling, one long boom breaking apart into 3, then 4 separate echoes, each one softer than the last, spreading out across the whole mountain range before finally, gently, fading into the steady rain. 7 seconds and 4 full echoes. Old Tom would say that's a fine, healthy storm, big enough to be worth remembering, far enough to be nothing at all to worry over. Some nights, he says, the count runs shorter, the echoes fewer, and those are simply the nights the mountain wants you to feel its full, enormous presence a little more closely. Still perfectly safe, just a little more awake to how vast the sky truly is. He says he still counts every storm, even now, even after 30 years, not because he needs to anymore, but because it's become its own small, satisfying ritual, a way of appreciating just how large and how generous a truly extreme storm really is, rather than simply enduring it. Below the lodge, in a long stone stable built into the mountainside itself, 2 sturdy mountain horses stand calm in their stalls, entirely unbothered by even the loudest thunder. Animals bred for generations in exactly this kind of weather, who understand, in the simple, certain way animals understand things, that the stable has never once let them down. A lodge dog named Ridge lies curled near the great hearth, one ear twitching occasionally at the loudest rolls of thunder, but otherwise entirely at peace, his breathing slow and even, utterly trusting in walls that have protected him his whole life. There is something deeply reassuring in the calm of animals during even the most extreme storms. They don't measure thunder by its size or its volume or how impressively it echoes across the mountains. They simply understand that they are dry and warm and enclosed by something sturdy, and that is enough for them to rest easily, no matter how large the sky above them gets.
Perhaps that is worth remembering tonight, too. You do not need to measure how extreme or how loud or how large anything outside your own warm and sturdy shelter has become. You only need to know that you are dry and warm and safe, exactly like the horses, exactly like Ridge, curled and unbothered by the fire. Deep beneath the great room, further down than most guests ever think to wonder about, the lodge's foundation stones sit exactly where Elias placed them 2 centuries ago, still channeling every drop of tonight's extreme rainfall safely away in 3 careful directions, exactly as he intended. He never lived to see most of the storms this foundation would weather, but he built it, patiently, stone by stone, trusting that it would hold regardless of who needed it, when, or how extreme the night turned out to be. There is something quietly moving in that kind of trust, building something solid enough to outlast your own lifetime, simply because someone, someday, would need it to hold. Old Tom rises slowly to check the fire, an old habit more than a necessity on a night when the lodge is already so thoroughly, comfortably settled. He tells you, as he works, that from the great window on the far side of the room, you can watch the valley below transform during a storm like this one. Waterfalls that barely trickle in dry weather, swelling into full, thundering cascades down the canyon walls, visible even through the rain and the mist as pale silver ribbons against the dark rock. If you like, imagine walking to that window now, the sheepskins still around your shoulders. Far below, through sheets of driving rain, you can just make out 3, 4, perhaps 5 separate waterfalls, each one swollen far beyond its usual size, each one adding its own voice to the great continuous roar of the storm. The largest of them, which old Tom calls the bridal veil, for the way its spray catches whatever light reaches it, has transformed completely tonight, from a modest, pretty trickle into a thundering wall of white water, visible even through the mist as a long, pale ribbon dropping hundreds of feet down the canyon wall. Its roar, distinct even beneath the sound of the rain itself, has become its own kind of music, deep and constant, blending with the thunder into one enormous, layered sound. Old Tom says an extreme storm like this one can do more good for the whole mountain in a single night than a month of gentle rain, filling every stream, every reservoir, every hidden spring the valley depends on for the entire dry season ahead. The bigger the storm, he says, the more generous the gift, once you stop measuring it by how loud it sounds and start measuring it by how much good it quietly does. Further down the valley, where the mist thins slightly, you can just make out the dark, winding shape of the main river, already running high and fast, carrying the mountain's abundance steadily down toward the farms and villages that depend on it. Every drop falling tonight, however loud, however extreme, is already becoming something useful, something nourishing somewhere further down the mountain. Perhaps whatever feels extreme or overwhelming in your own life right now is doing something similar, filling reserves you can't yet see, preparing you for seasons you haven't reached yet, doing more good, quietly, than its size or its noise might suggest in the moment. Above the great room, a narrow wooden staircase climbs to a loft bedroom tucked directly beneath the steep roof, where the sound of the extreme rain is loudest and somehow most soothing of all. If you like, imagine climbing it now, slowly, the sheepskin still around your shoulders, one hand trailing along a banister worn smooth by 2 centuries of tired travelers. At the top, the loft is warm and low-ceilinged, following the exact steep angle of the roof above, with a single large window looking directly out over the misted valley and its swollen silver waterfalls. The bed here is deep and soft, piled high with thick woven blankets, each one woven by hands that understood, better than most, how to make a bed feel like the safest place in the world during even the most extreme storm. You climb in slowly and pull the blankets up around you. Above you, close now, the rain roars steadily against the steep roof, heavy and full and entirely unbothered by anything at all. In a second smaller bed, tucked into the loft's far corner, a young apprentice guide, no older than 16, already sleeps soundly, one arm flung over a well-worn guidebook, clearly having fallen asleep mid-page. He hasn't stirred once, not even during the loudest, most echoing rolls of thunder. Earlier, before you came up, he told old Tom quite seriously that extreme storms were his favorite nights to sleep because the sound was so enormous it seemed to fill every corner of his mind, leaving no room left for anything else at all. Old Tom laughed and said he'd felt exactly the same way, at exactly that age, on a night not so different from this one. The boy has been training under old Tom for nearly 2 years now, learning the mountain's trails, its weather patterns, its 100 small signs that most visitors never notice, which clouds mean an hour of warning and which mean none at all, which ridges shelter from the worst wind, which streams to avoid when they're running full like tonight's ones. He has a long way still to go, old Tom says, but he already sleeps like someone who trusts the mountain completely, storm or no storm. There is something instructive in a boy who has learned this young that even the loudest storm can become the deepest, most complete kind of rest. Perhaps by morning you'll have learned a little of that same trust yourself.
Thunder rolls again somewhere beyond the great window, and without needing to be told, you find yourself counting, listening for the echoes this time, the way old Tom taught. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there it is, one long rolling boom, breaking into echo after echo after echo, 6 full repetitions this time, each one softer, each one spreading the enormous sound thinner and thinner across the whole mountain range until it fades, at last, into nothing but steady, generous rain. Further away this time, and softer with every echo, the storm, extreme as it is, has no interest in hurrying either. It takes its vast, generous time, the way all truly restorative things do, spreading its rain evenly across every ridge and valley it passes over. Slowly, gradually, almost too gently to notice at first, the extreme intensity begins to ease, not stopping, not yet, and perhaps not for hours yet, but softening, the driving, roaring downpour settling into something merely heavy, merely generous, more like the storm's own way of catching its breath before whatever comes next. The thunder, too, grows further and further between each roll, its echoes fewer now, softer, more like distant applause than the enormous room-shaking booms of an hour ago. Somewhere beyond the farthest ridge, the storm continues its slow, tremendous journey, carrying its extraordinary rainfall towards some other valley, some other lodge, some other warm hearth, waiting to receive its generosity. Here, though, the most extreme part of it has already passed. What remains is simply deep, heavy, endlessly comforting rain, exactly the kind made for the deepest, most complete kind of sleep. Let the sound wash over you now, not as something to measure or worry over or brace against, simply as an enormous, generous rhythm filling the whole mountain night with one continuous comforting roar. Through the great window, past the driving rain, you can just make out a single small light in the far distance, another lodge, or perhaps a ranger's cabin tucked into its own fold of the mountains, its window glowing warm and small against the vast storm-soaked valley between you. You'll likely never know who sheltered there tonight, and yet there is something quietly companionable in knowing they're out there too, riding out this same extreme storm in their own warm, sturdy shelter, trusting the same old mountains to hold steady around them. Old Tom's chair creaks softly downstairs as he settles back beside the fire, content in his own quiet way to sit up a while longer, listening to his old lodge sing its familiar thunderous storm song, exactly as it has every extreme summer storm of his 30 years here. Ridge shifts slightly on his rug by the hearth, one ear twitch once, then settling again into deep, easy sleep. The young apprentice hasn't stirred, the guidebook still open beneath his arm. His dreams, old Tom would guess, likely full of mountain trails and weather patterns he's still learning to read. Perhaps somewhere in your own life there is a storm of some kind rolling through right now too, something large or loud or truly extreme. If so, know this: even the most extreme storms are simply weather, however enormous they sound in the moment. They arrive, they do their vast, generous work, and eventually, always, they soften, echo, and pass. And in the meantime, you are allowed to be exactly like this old lodge, sturdy and dry and warm, weathering it steadily, one deep breath at a time, without needing to fully measure every echo overhead. Rest is not something you earn, it's already yours. It was always yours. It will be waiting for you again the next time you need it, and the time after that, and every time after that. Your body feels heavy now, sinking into the thick blankets, the steady roar of rain on the roof blending with the slow, echoing rolls of thunder, further away now with each passing minute, each echo a little softer, a little more forgivable than the last. There is nothing more you need to hear. There is nothing more you need to imagine. I will stay here with you a while longer, speaking softly, so you do not need to listen closely anymore. Just let my voice fade into the rhythm of the rain, like thunder fades into echo, like everything else in this old lodge that exists simply to keep you warm and safe through the night. Downstairs, the fire has burned low, glowing a deep, steady orange, giving off just enough warmth to keep the whole lodge comfortable until morning. The snowshoes and climbing ropes keep their same quiet watch along the walls, generation after generation, exactly as they always have. The old guest book rests closed on its table, 2 centuries of storm-weathered handwriting, waiting patiently for whoever adds the next entry once morning finally comes. The great window still frames its enormous view of the misted valley, though nothing can be seen through it now except darkness and rain and the occasional pale flash of distant, softening lightning. If your thoughts drift now, let them drift slowly, the way the echoes drift across the canyon walls, softening, spreading, settling gradually into quiet. If your thoughts settle on something, let them settle softly, the way ridge settled by the hearth, entirely unbothered, entirely at ease. You do not need to hold on to anything tonight. You do not need to let go of anything either. You may simply rest exactly as you are, exactly where you are, held steady by walls that have weathered 200 years of exactly this kind of extreme mountain weather, and will easily weather this one too. Old Tom's fire settles into soft embers. The horses stand steady in their stable. The waterfalls below continue their swollen, generous roar into the mist-filled valley, doing their quiet, essential work long into the night, filling streams and springs the whole mountain will depend on for seasons to come. The guest book rests closed on the low table, its 2 centuries of storm-weathered travelers, all in their own time, finding exactly the rest you're finding now. Every corner of this old lodge and everyone resting within it has settled into the very same deep, unhurried calm. In, out, in, out. Somewhere behind you now, far down the mountain, through the driving rain, the switchback road still climbs the ridge exactly as it did when you first walked it. The pines still leaning gently into the storm, the hawk long since found its own sheltered ledge for the night. Softly, the stone path you climbed still waits there too, worn smooth by centuries of travelers, ready the way it always is for the next quiet traveler who needs somewhere warm and sturdy to weather even the most extreme storm. The old wooden trail markers still stand along the way, half swallowed by moss, patient beneath the rain. The scattered village lights in the valley below still glow softly through the mist, each one its own small shelter, each one weathering the very same storm you've weathered tonight. The lodge will be there again too, whenever you need it, patient, unhurried, ready to hold steady around you for as long as you need it, any storm you need it, no matter how extreme. Rest is not something you earn, it's already yours. The rain remembers this roof. The thunder remembers this valley. The mountains remember every storm that came before this one. And you may finally, completely rest. Good night.